It's Monday morning. I ought to be in my dorm room, smelling Vanessa's hairspray and getting ready for class. Unlike some people, I don't leave my homework to the very last minute, so it wouldn't take long. Has she reported me missing by now? Have they called my parents? Are the police looking for Bradley? It's 1984 here. If whatever sent us here also sent us through time, then maybe when we get back, it'll still be the day that we left, and we will never have been missing at all. Of course, Bradley's sister never came back. I stand up, yawn, and stretch. I slept through the night, but I don't feel completely rested. I blame the first of many weird and bizarre dreams. I was in a dark forest at night, but not like the forest around here. I guess this is the second dream, not the first Princess Bride one. This was more like a Louisiana swamp with wet ground and hanging moss swaying in the breeze. Every path looked alike. Everywhere I went, I couldn't find my way out. I couldn't tell if I were walking in circles or if the forest went on forever. Then up ahead in the distance, I saw a glimmer of light. I knew it was probably just a will-o'-the-wisp, so I ignored it, but it kept coming closer, until it was a giant fireball rushing towards me. And then I woke up. Obviously, my subconscious feels trapped here. There are worse places to get stuck. It's a nice house, we have plenty of food, and the people are alright most of the time. But I want to go home. I want to be in my room with my books and my music and just relax and recharge. I want to feel centered. Here I feel like I'm on stage and I can't get off, and the audience is watching my every move. We're not much more than strangers. What do they think of me, really? Am I annoying or stupid or weird? I've been trying to learn to be more social this year. I spent my weekends talking to people, going to parties, even the state. But when the weekend is over, it should be back to school, back to normal. If I had work to do, I'd feel better. Well, I can't just sit here and stare at these blank walls all day. I make my way to the kitchen to prepare my breakfast.
Good morning. Is there anything I can get for you?
No, I'm fine. You know, you shouldn't have to cook for everyone all the time.
Oh, I don't mind.
Still, it's not fair to make you do all the work. How about I make dinner for everyone tonight? I can do some good spicy Indian food.
I don't know if Nathaniel has the ingredients for that.
I'll improvise. Is spicy okay with you? I can keep it mild if you're worried.
No, I like spicy food.
Okay, I was wondering about that. So we got to ask this time because we're feeling a little closer to Rafael. So he's just like, I don't know if Nathaniel will be okay with that, but I like spicy food. Oh, good. We're gonna get along just swell. That should keep me busy for a while today. I'm not a great cook, but I know a lot of ways to spice up vegetables and rice. But until then, I'm at loose ends. Well, I guess I'd better go find something to do. I nod a farewell and turn to leave. Thump thump, as he calls out towards me.
Wait.
What is it?
There's something you ought to know.
Like what?
You should sit down first.
Oh boy, that's always a bad sign. You should really sit. Yeah, that is not a reassuring start. We move into the dining room and I take a seat while Rafael peers out the door, checking that no one's likely to overhear. What is it? What's the matter? He sits in a chair next to me and brushes back his hair, twisting it restlessly behind his head before letting it fall again.
Do you remember the other day, when Linds set up the equipment so that you could try to walk through the force field?
Of course.
Well, you know, he didn't really trust you at the time.
I know, but I don't completely understand why.
It's a long story, but basically Linds thought someone might have sent you here to spy on him.
On him in particular? He's got a high opinion of himself.
Well, he's earned it. But, you see, he thought you might be working for someone, and if you left the house, you might report to them. So he had to be sure that wouldn't happen.
You mean... this whole force field thing is a fake?
No! It's really there, and we don't know why. It's something to do with the... I don't know, but it should really shut down in 2 days, like he said. The force field is real, but the shielding he set up on you to try and get through the field wasn't. It didn't fail. It was designed not to work in the first place.
So, there might really be a way out?
I don't know. Maybe.
Then why are we just sitting here? Why aren't y'all trying different things to make it work? Don't you want to escape from this trap?
No. Linds is working on an experiment, and I can't tell you what it is, but we have to stay here to finish it. We weren't expecting to be trapped in here, but it doesn't make a difference to us. It's more important not to disturb the project. At least, it's more important to us. But would you really want to leave? Alone? If this isn't your world, where would you go? Isn't it better to stay?
I don't know. As Nathaniel said yesterday, Bradley and I will need friends to help us in this world. If we left the house and they stayed, we'd have no idea what to do next. No money, no contacts, no hope. Do the others know about the shielding being faked?
No. Only Linds. And me. And he doesn't know I'm telling you.
Then why are you telling me? Aw, that blush!
Because you've been so nice, and you're not what Linds thought you were. You wouldn't hurt anybody. So it's not right to lie to you anymore.
But you still won't tell me about this experiment.
I can't. I really can't.
He reaches over and places his hand on mine.
There is a good reason. Please, trust me.
I do. He grins at me and squeezes my hand.
Don't tell Bradley that I said anything, okay? He's a little scary.
I don't think he's a bad person. He just gets carried away. Still, if he thought Rafael was keeping secrets, he might try to bully them out of him. I think it's important that we do a proper test and try to get past the force field. Not because I want to leave, but because we need to know. If we can get out, then we can get back in again, right? And at least we'd know more about these force fields and have a way to escape in case we needed to. There's no way I can sit and do nothing. Well, that was an interesting piece of information we've learned this time around. Linds, you sly dog. Once again, I find myself in the grand lobby with Linds and a pile of strange equipment.
I thought you said you tried this before and it didn't work.
There was a small miscalculation. Quite harmless, as you see, but it thoroughly invalidated my results. This time the result may be different. You're welcome to take her place as my guinea pig, if that is your desire.
No thanks. I'll watch.
As you wish.
He moves around me, testing and adjusting the equipment. As he does so, he leans in close to my ear to murmur words out of the other's hearing.
Raphael must be very fond of you.
I don't want to act furtive in front of Bradley. Why does Linds have to make everything sleazy? I didn't really take that as being sleazy. It's just like, yeah, he's fond of you. Duh.
I wonder what you did to compel his obedience.
What? I didn't compel anything. Rafael told me the truth because he's nice. Linds didn't make any attempt to deny it when I confronted him, but I got the impression he would never have bothered telling me if Rafael hadn't gone behind his back. Are you done yet?
I think so.
He's got his picture up. He's all ready.
Remember, I'll be monitoring every step of the way. Move slowly so I can get clear readings, but abort immediately if you experience any pain. Contrary to some people's expectations, I don't intend you any harm.
Right. Rafael rocks back and forth on his toes, smiling at me.
Good luck.
Thanks. Here we go again. I turn to face the door. Here we go. Oh, it's reacting this time. I don't know what I expected when I walked through the door. A tingling sensation? Heat? Light? But only for a moment, and then a new world waiting for me. Not this. I take one step, then another, and nothing changes. No forest, no road, no city. Standing still, I slowly turn in place. I can't see anything clear in any direction, just this weird light all around me as if this field never ends. Hello? Can anyone hear me? Nothing. Well, it can't go on forever. I'll just have to keep walking. Time passes with no visible results. I can't really see the ground underfoot, but it feels like I'm walking up a hill and it keeps getting steeper. I'm not at all athletic, but I don't think of myself as being in bad shape. Why is this so difficult? I'd like to sit down if only I could see a place to rest, but there's nothing. I have to keep going. And then on the next step, my feet slip out from under me and I fall backwards. Well, that was strange. What? How did I get back here?
Back? Where do you believe that you went?
Believe? Isn't it obvious where I went? What did you see?
You stepped into the field and it bowed outward without breaking. Then you stepped back.
So I was standing still all that time?
What time?
You stepped back almost immediately. I thought perhaps your courage had deserted you.
But that doesn't make any sense. I was walking through this strange landscape. There was light and shadow. I was gone for several minutes.
But you weren't.
I shake my head slowly. I know what I saw. Did you sabotage this test too?
What?
Of course not. Don't be a fool.
Rafael looks at me, hurt. Oops, I've almost given it away. At least Bradley doesn't know what I meant, but I better change the subject. Good going, Janet. I know you'd never do that. I'm sorry. I don't understand what happened.
Neither do I. Fascinating, isn't it? I did get some readings from the attempt. I'll need time to analyze them. But it appears that my original conclusion may have been correct after all. This effect appears to conform only to completely unknown principles.
In other words, he hasn't a clue what it is or how it works.
Did you see anyone out there?
It was hard to see anything. The light kept shifting. I thought I saw shapes like people, but when I called out, no one answered. And you didn't hear me either, did you?
No. We should get those things off you.
Yes, I may need to run tests on them as well.
Working together, Linds and Rafael removed the shielding elements.
Are you sure you're alright?
I feel fine. I'm just confused.
You should take it easy for the rest of the day. We'll tell you what we find out after we've had time to look at the data. I promise.
I suppose. But I'm still making dinner tonight. That's a promise. I wonder if she makes something different for dinner when on Nathaniel's route. Would he be, like, too polite to tell her he doesn't enjoy spicy food? Or would she be like, no, just tell me what you want? It took me some time, but at last dinner is ready. Nathaniel's kitchen didn't include ready-made curry powder or garam masala, but there were plenty of other spices that could be mixed together. I think that's more interesting anyway. Cooking is a bit like chemistry, except you're not supposed to make things explode. Good chutney is beyond me, though, even if the right ingredients had been there. So that limits what dishes I can present well. My father would say that a good dinner party should have many different dishes available so that the guests can try a little of everything until they find something they like. If you serve only one dish and someone doesn't like it, it's a problem. Of course, if my father were holding a dinner party, he'd just have it catered, and then it's easy to have a wide selection. Both of my parents can cook, but if they had guests to impress, they'd be too busy with other things than the food. Anyway, what I've ended up with is spiced potatoes, vegetable biryani, and sweet fried bread. Nothing too outre.
Is it done yet? I'm starved.
Yes, come on in. The boys began to filter in and take their seats. Linds tilts his head curiously, drawing in a long, slow breath of air through his nose and holding it for a few moments before exhaling. All right? He doesn't say anything more.
Thank you very much for preparing all this for us.
Wait until you eat it before you say that. I know I'm not a bad cook, but I don't know what they like either. Anyway, help yourselves. There should be enough. I dished some onto my own plate without waiting for anyone else. I'm hungry. The others follow suit, a little more cautiously in some cases.
Is there any meat in this?
No, it won't hurt you to eat some vegetables. Unless someone has allergies they didn't tell me about.
Vegetables are a side dish.
I'm not forcing you to convert.
I'm sure it will be fine.
The meal progresses quietly for a bit as everyone samples the food. Despite what he said earlier, I'm not sure Nathaniel is enjoying the meal. He doesn't seem to be eating very much. But then I haven't been closely watching how he eats before. Maybe I'm just paranoid. Linds isn't eating very much either and chews each bite with slow deliberation. He's probably distracted.
This is great.
Don't talk with your mouth full. He just grins at me. So, what have you found out about what happened earlier?
Earlier?
I tell them about my second encounter with the force field, and how I traveled somewhere and then slipped and fell back, but the people watching saw something different.
That's very strange. Sounds like fluff.
The shielding did resonate with the energy of the force field, producing complex harmonics. My current theory is that these patterns interfered with brain activity upon contact. The test subject's brain attempted to rationalize the conflicting data by constructing memories of a missing time period.
So it's all in her head.
I was not hallucinating.
3 witnesses saw you touch the field and then step back. Only you say anything else happened. The evidence is not in your favor.
Well, why don't you have someone else try it out then, and then you get more than one person?
Dreams often distort one's sense of time. An entire adventure could take place in your mind while only seconds passed outside.
But I'm sure I wasn't dreaming. Dreams may feel true while they're taking place, but when you wake up, you know it was a dream. Excuse me. This was different. Still, it does sound like a dream, doesn't it? Strange lights, shapes I couldn't quite see, never being able to get anywhere.
What else could it be?
I don't know.
I'm envious myself. I'd be curious to see what images might be dragged out of the depths of my mind by such an experience.
You want to go next?
Alas, you can't risk the chance that I might actually manage to leave the house and be unable to return. You'd all be doomed.
Nathaniel politely changes the subject.
I know it's too soon for you to know, but if you do end up remaining here, do you have any ideas of what you want to do with your future?
Well, I was thinking about becoming a doctor, but I don't know. I have an awful lot to learn about how things work here.
You might also be able to discover future advances that you already know about.
Isn't that cheating?
Would you rather keep the information secret and let lives be lost needlessly?
No, of course not. I can see it now. Dr. Baskar charges to the rescue, heroically performing unknown procedures on dying patients over the protests of her shocked co-workers because there's no time to explain when lives are at stake. My parents would be so proud. Except that they would never know.
In their hearts, they would.
It's kind of you to say that. In their hearts, they'd probably believe I was murdered. They surely wouldn't believe I'd run away. Not after last year, whatever that was. I've been making the best of things. I haven't given up. And if I had just run off, I'm not sure they'd be happy to see me back.
Hey Janet, is there any dessert?
I didn't make any, but there's still plenty of ice cream in the freezer.
That'll do.
Well, at least one person thinks my dinner was a success. Good old Bradley. Can always rely on him. After dinner, I planned to pick up a book from Nathaniel's library, but I can't help getting this feeling I've forgotten something. Perhaps it's just that at loose ends problem again. On a normal Monday night, I'd have schoolwork to do. That was part of the point of making dinner, to keep me busy. Dinner. The kitchen. Did I put everything away? I know I turned off the stove. I cleaned up after myself. But now that I think about it, I can't remember every single detail, and it nags at me. Well, I'll just go and have a quick look. It will only take a minute. I step into the kitchen. Eek! Rafael, don't eek! I nearly bump into Rafael. What are you doing here? He's got a plate in his hand. Did he sneak in to wash things up that I forgot? No, he's making a sandwich? It's probably for Linds. I'm sorry. I guess my cooking wasn't very good after all.
No, I liked it.
He follows my gaze to the plate in his hand and blushes.
It's not for me. It's for Linds. He's a picky eater.
Yeah, I knew it. Can't he get it himself? Why does he make you run his errands?
He didn't make me. It's just that I saw that he wasn't eating very much, and if I don't bring him food, he probably won't bother.
He said that yesterday as well, that he has to pick up after Linds and prepare his meals. It's not fair. He treats you like a slave. Oh. Some angry emotion from Rafael.
He does not. Linds is my angel.
Your what?
Oh.
He runs his fingers through his hair and fluffs it out around his face.
I grew up with my parents in Amarillo. That's a city in El Dorado, the country west of here.
I vaguely remember seeing El Dorado on the maps in Nathaniel's library.
My family was... We didn't have a lot of money. We were always careful not to waste anything that could be used or mended. Both my parents worked, so I did most of the chores around the house, so that when they did get home, we could all spend time together. We were okay, except... There's no health care in El Dorado.
You don't have any doctors?
There are doctors, but there's no health service. Not like here. You have to pay. A lot.
Oh, he means there's no free government-provided healthcare. Atlanta has that?
We always saved up what money we could in case someday we'd need it, but the doctors charge whatever price they want. For something like cancer, they want over $1 million. We couldn't have saved that much in our whole lives.
So then one of your parents got sick?
No. I did. Something went wrong with my nervous system. I started to have trouble keeping my balance and even passing out. Sometimes my hands would shake. I missed a lot of school because I wasn't getting better.
Are you okay?
Well, let me finish. The most of the doctors we could afford could tell us was that it was a very rare condition, and it was getting worse. If they couldn't stop it, eventually I wouldn't be able to move at all, and then I'd die. They had some ideas for treatments, but it would cost more than my parents could possibly afford. So my parents gave me up.
How did they do that?
They moved to another city and left me behind.
Ouch! What?
As long as I was living with my family, the government would say it was their personal responsibility to pay my medical bills. But the government is supposed to take care of abandoned children if they have nowhere else to go. I had to really be abandoned.
Oh, wow. That's a tough situation. That's awful. So you ended up in an orphanage or something?
I didn't know where to go for help. My parents couldn't tell me what to do or where they were going. They told me that someone would find me eventually. Until then, I was on the streets.
But you were sick. You couldn't take care of yourself.
I probably should have tried to reach someone from my school, but I didn't know how to get anywhere on foot, and I couldn't think straight. I wasn't doing well. My thoughts kept getting tangled up. My eyes... I could see two of everything, and I couldn't tell which was real. That's not even the worst part. I don't know what would have happened to me if Linds hadn't found me.
Linds?
Some kids caught me trying to find food in the trash and started pushing me around. They were just kids, smaller than me, but I kept falling over and they laughed. Then suddenly there was this blaze of white. Linds chased the boys away, and then when I collapsed, he brought me home with him. He took care of me. He found out I was sick, and he experimented, and he made me better. He's a genius. He saved my life.
Wow.
And that's why I stay with him and take care of him. Not because I'm his slave. He's never made me do anything. I help him because I want to. The last thing my mother said to me was that God would send an angel to watch over me. Maybe he doesn't look like an angel to you, but Linds is who God sent.
That's a pretty amazing story. Rafael's been through a lot, and he's still so young. But something bothers me. Should Janet ask about Rafael's past with his parents or his future with Linds? Janet should make a save. There we go. Well, it looks like things have been decided for me. I was gonna be like, well, I could probably do both. Like, ask one this end and one the next end, so... Since Linds is already done for me, I'll do Linds this time and his parents next time. So, how long have you been living with Linds, then?
A couple of years now, I guess. I was sick for months, and then he had to go back to Atlanta, so we moved.
How did you get across the border as a minor?
He, made up some papers for me.
He forged documents?
Just a little. I didn't have anywhere else to go.
If he's 18 at the moment, he was 16 when he lost his family. He would never have finished high school or had any sort of job. He's got no money and no home of his own. What are you going to do now? Go to school like Nathaniel suggested?
I'm not sure. I think I probably should, but if it means leaving Linds on his own, I'm not sure what God wants me to do.
What God wants?
Linds saved me, and he needed me. God brought us together to help each other. Now, God has brought me here, and Nathaniel's offering to help me, but does that mean Linds is ready for me to leave him?
He looks down at the sandwich plate.
It still looks like he needs my help.
Wait, I'm confused. Do you really believe that everything happens for a reason? Because God meant it to be that way? Whoops. I always thought that sounded terrible. Bad things happen. What sort of God wants everyone to suffer?
Not exactly, but that's how it should be. God gives us chances, and it's up to us to take them. If you can help yourself, you do. If someone needs help and you have help to give, you give it. If you need help and someone offers it, you take it. Nathaniel wants to help me, so that's probably the right thing for me to do.
What about what you want to do?
I don't know what I want. I want everyone to be happy. I should take this to Linds.
Good night, then. What a weird segue out of that conversation. And on that note, good night. This dream again. Darkness like velvet surrounds me, warm and soft, blacker than the blackest night. But somewhere in that void, there's a guiding star. It's the only thing that I can see, my only point of reference. And so, of course, I walk towards it. The light is the way out. Home, my family, my future. It's all waiting for me in the light. But wait, isn't that what they say about heaven? I don't want to go to heaven, not yet. I don't want to die. I turn to walk away from the light, but the darkness behind me has become solid. I punch and kick at the solid wall of black behind me and only succeed in pushing myself towards the light. I can't get away. If I try, I'll only slide back again. I'm trapped. And that feels familiar. Didn't I dream this? Am I dreaming now? When I walked through the door of the mansion, it wasn't this blackness I found, but it was somehow the same. A false exit. A path that leads only one direction. They said I was dreaming, but it didn't feel like a dream then. That felt real. This time I know that I'm dreaming. Okay, so that changed a little bit. That was interesting. I turn and face the light. The ground under my feet begins to slope, threatening to make me slip and fall. So I pick up my feet and hover. It's only a dream. My dream. Which means I'm in charge. And I would rather be flying than falling into that light. What's in there anyway? Nathaniel's lobby? My home? Or something I don't want to see? A filthy bathroom? The Yale rejection letter? The 4th grade class play? Let me look. Yale rejection letter. Wonder if that has something to do with what happened last year. It's Bianca! Oh, that's weird. Okay, this is so different. Who is that? Wait, why am I still moving closer to the light? Stop it! This is my dream. I'm in control. Stop! And then there was an explosion. Very interesting. I'm in bed where I should be. It was a dream, just like I thought. I've always known the difference between dreams and reality. But what woke me up? It wasn't me. I heard something, felt something. Something that startled me awake. A surge. An explosion? I need to find someone who can help, someone I can trust. Why didn't I ever ask where Raphael's room was? Bradley sleeps there, and Nathaniel's master bedroom is there, and I saw Albin over there. I've never seen Raphael going to bed. Early or late, he's always working, but it must be one of these doors. Raphael would say that God will lead me to the door that I need. Me, I'm relying on my own brain, a calculated probability, and a little bit of luck. This door, I think. I knock quietly, then wait. Nothing. Raphael? Are you there? Maybe nobody's in this room at all. But after another moment, the door cracks open a tiny bit. I can only see a glimpse of him wrapped in a faded, oversized bathrobe. Hey! I've got a new thing going on down here.
Janet? What's wrong?
And now that he asks, I feel a little silly. I'm not completely sure that anything is wrong. I had a weird dream and I woke up suddenly. If there was an explosion, wouldn't he have heard it too? Did you hear a noise? Like a loud bang or something?
No.
Well, something woke me up, that's all. I hear a clicking sound, rapidly followed by a few more.
The lights won't... The power!
There we go. Got more of a look-see here now. He yanks the door open and rushes out so quickly that he bumps into me.
Sorry.
Before hurrying down the hall, opening another door and disappearing again. Oh, well, hello. I mean, sorry, didn't mean to ogle. Moments later, Linds comes out wearing only a bedsheet. And takes off without saying a word. Raphael reappears. What on earth is going on?
The experiment. If the power's gone out, something might have gone very wrong. He has to check.
The experiment that you won't tell me about.
Yes. I'll make him tell you the whole truth in the morning. I promise.
Wow, okay.
I just hope it's not too late.
Too late for what? He shakes his head.
What did you hear that woke you up? Just a bang?
I'm not sure, really. I was having a very strange dream, and I woke up all of a sudden and I thought I'd heard something, but I couldn't remember what it was. I was dreaming about something like when I walked through the force field, only different. Instead of a tunnel of strange lights pushing me back into the house, it was a dark wall pushing me into the light. And then I looked at the center of the light and I saw this white girl lying there, really washed out looking with dark hair and all these wires.
But that's impossible.
Huh? My mind goes over what I've said, and his reaction, and what he said earlier. Does this experiment involve a person? Is Bradley's sister really...
No! You don't understand. I promised. I can't...
His voice starts to shake and his eyes glisten damply. Oh! Hi! I gotcha. I'm not really sure how it happened. If I put my arms around him first, or he leaned against me, or both at the same time. All I know is that holding him feels right. He's so soft, not as bony as I thought. More like a puppy than a frail invalid. Small and precious and warm. His hair smells like coconut, and he's trembling. Shh. It's alright. I can't help it. Those words come out by reflex. I don't know that it's alright. I don't even know why he's upset. But it's Raphael. The sweetest, kindest, most innocent boy I've ever met. I want to cuddle him and protect him and keep him safe and smiling. Anything for his smile.
I'm sorry. You must think I'm just a silly little boy.
I think you're tired and you're worried. You work too hard and you're stressing yourself out. That's not a rare problem at university, you know. Look, whatever you're hiding, I know you must have had a good reason. If you say you'll tell me in the morning, then that's fine by me. We should both get some sleep.
Thank you for understanding.